We got some half-price cacti, miles of carpet tails, TVs, Eat Freeze and David Bowie LPs, ball games, gold chains, watch names, had to push some Trevor Francis tracksuits from a Mr. Shepherd's bush, no income tax, no VAT, no money back, no guarantee, black or white, rich or poor, we'll cut prices at a star. God bless Hookie Street. Viva Hookie Street. Long live Hookie Street. C'est magnifique. Hookie Street. Magnifique. Hookie Street. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Watchalong this afternoon for Celtic's return to Celtic Park. It's Celtic against Newcastle United. It's the Adidas Cup final. The League Cup winners in Scotland versus the League Cup winners in England. Celtic against Newcastle this afternoon. I am not at Celtic Park, and can I make one thing perfectly clear to you all? It won't cost you 25 quid to get involved in the stream this afternoon, to ask your questions this afternoon. We will be having a laugh. We will be having a conversation and a gab through this game. And you could argue this is our biggest test in pre-season thus far. Some might say it was Sporting Lisbon. Some might say that it's Newcastle this afternoon. Whatever you think, still a big test for Celtic nonetheless, as we welcome one of England's modern day biggest sides to Celtic Park, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, we've still got a wee while to kick off, about 12 minutes or so. Hello to all of you. Hello to Philip, who kicks us off with the donations this afternoon, saying good morning, Ryan from Worcester, Massachusetts. It's always good to have you, Philip. I tip my hat to you, even though it's Philadelphia Phillies hat, but I tip my hat to you anyway. It's good to have you, and thank you for the donation. You never go. You're a plastic fan, mate. I never go. Season ticket holder who's there every week, but plastic fan nonetheless. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. We are going to have a look through the Celtic team before I get tucked into all the questions. So if you give me one moment, I'll get that on screen for you now. Celtic aren't going with their strongest team to start the game, which was I was a little bit surprised at. I thought that they would have went for the strongest team, but they haven't. They've made some changes. Still a decent side, but not anywhere near. No Kieran Tierney's an example. For example, let me just get it up for you now. Here is the Celtic starting 11 for the game. Kasper Schmeichel is in goals with a back four of Tony Ralston, Dane Murray, Austin Trusty and Hayato Inamura. The midfield, led by Callum McGregor, is joined by Luke McCowan and Arne Engels. The front three is Yang, Dyson Maeda and Johnny Kenny. So still a pretty strong side, but of course we see Kieran Tierney drop into the bench. We see James Forrest, who you could argue right now is the strongest right winger, drop to the bench. Benjamin Nygren goes to the bench after his fantastic performance against Sporting. And of course we've got Liam Scales, Adam Ida, some other. Paulo Bernardo, who returns, by the way, he's here. Everybody's been asking, where's Paulo Bernardo? What's happening with Paulo Bernardo? He's back. He's on the bench this afternoon. So hopefully we see him in the second half of the game. And Rio Hatate, of course, the last player I was going to come to. There are some other players, of course, dotted on the bench. The likes of Ewer, McPherson, Donovan, Montgomery, Summers, Osmond, Duhan. But yeah, there is the Celtic team for this afternoon's game, which kicks off in roughly 10 minutes time. Let's have a look at the Newcastle team as well, should we? The Pope is here. Pope Leo has made it. He starts this afternoon. Pope in goals. Kieran Trippier, Sven Botman, Fabian Schär and Harvey Barnes. Oh, they go. Oh, wait, hold on. They go in a number order here, are they? Well, you can kind of make out what the team is. Pope, Trippier, Botman, Schär, Barnes, Target, Asula, Jacob Murphy, Joe Willock, Bruno Guimaraes and Lewis Miley makes up the Newcastle team. A very strong Newcastle side this evening, or this afternoon, sorry, I should say. A very, very good team. I can't get rid of this here. Can I get rid of that? There we go. Bench for them includes Dubravka, who's been linked to Celtic umpteen times. Ruddy as well, the two goalkeepers. Lascelles, Tonali, Gordon, Emil Kraft, Anthony Alanga, who's a new signing for Newcastle, of course. Ashby, Dan Burn, Murphy, White, Hearns, Munda and Neve. So there is the Newcastle team. A very, very strong side. Of course, the big talking point is the fact that Alexander Isak isn't involved in today's matchday squad. Maybe a blessing for Celtic, maybe a blessing for us that he isn't involved in today's matchday squad. Rumours of him maybe going to Liverpool, rumours of potential injuries, God knows, I don't care. I don't care why he's not involved. I'm just glad that he's not there because he would probably give us a torrid time. But that is a good side. Of course, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, one of the best midfielders in Premier League, in the Premier League these last couple of years. Good players, experienced players like Fabian Schär, who's been fantastic for them. Sven Botman, who's been a great centre half when he's not been lying injured. Good side for Newcastle. Quick reminder one more time of the Celtic team before I get rid of the graphics. Schmeichel, Ralston, Murray, Trusty, Inamura, McGregor, McCowan, Engels, Yang, Maeda and Kenny. That is your Celtic team for the game today. Let me just get myself sorted back out and let's have a wee gab in the chat before kickoff, shall we? Because that is exactly what we're here to do. We're here to gab, aren't we? The starting the lineup graphics for Celtic. I hope that this is just pre-season friendly lineup graphics, Nathan, because I said this in the first stream that the lineup graphics are immensely boring and shit this year, which is very disappointing as a man who enjoys a good matchday graphic. So I'm hoping it is only for pre-season. We've got some predictions already flying in. 4-2 Newcastle, says Greg. 3-2 Celtic, says Robert. Let's see what else. Finally, Eddie Howe makes it to Parkhead. Well, it's nuts, isn't it? That was one of the kind of narratives when this game was first announced, that Eddie Howe would finally be making his way to Celtic Park after the palaver that was his near appointment at Celtic. In case that you aren't familiar with what happened, very simple. Eddie Howe had basically agreed to take the Celtic job and then shat himself last minute, to just call it how it was. Didn't get the backroom staff that he wanted, apparently. Peter Grant was a big part of it. Jason Tindall was a big part of it. Peter Grant ended up taking the Dunfermline job. I don't know if Jason Tindall wanted to come to Celtic. At the end of the day, that it fell through. We ended up with Ange Postecoglou. So things turned out all right. And it turned out all right for Eddie Howe as well. I don't know. There's some people who, for a full year, after he was announced as Newcastle manager, and just for Walter, who says Eddie Howe, Walter's having a great time in the chat, by the way. Well, he wasn't going to be Celtic manager, even though we released an actual statement about it and everything. There was a lot. I remember when Eddie Howe was appointed Newcastle manager, there was a lot of hostility towards him. There was a lot of, I'll get it up, I hope he fails and all the rest of it, which I never quite got. So what? He never became Celtic manager. He never took the job. I wanted him. We all know that. We all know how desperate I was for Eddie Howe to become Celtic manager. But I wasn't, going to wish ill on the guy. He didn't come. It didn't happen. We got Ange Postecoglou. Things turned out okay. Mackenzie saying, interested to see how Inamura plays today. Well, this is big for Inamura because he's up against a good side. This isn't Cork City, this is Newcastle United, this is the League Cup winners, and it's a big test for him. So he's actually up against a strong team, and we'll maybe get a better judge of where he is as a player today. So a very interesting afternoon indeed for him this afternoon. I hope that he looks good. I hope that he fills us with optimism. And we'll wait and see. Afternoon, Jackie. Good to see you. Eddie Howe and the Pope at Celtic Park. A 2021 dream of ours, says Ewan. Absolutely. Hello, Hank. How you doing? Get your questions in. We've got around 6 minutes till kick-off. So keep your questions coming in. Keep your conversation going. Murray saying that those were dark times, that whole Eddie Howe debacle. Yep, that was... I don't want to go back to that. Thank you to Alistair, by the way, for being a member for 10 months. Really appreciate that, brother. He says, just home from watching my AFL team get done in by the other worst team in the league. Up to Celtic to cheer me up. Well, Alistair, I hope that we can help. It's only a pre-season friendly, though, so don't get too bogged down by it. I can understand why, you're disappointed after your tough one today. You guys will recover. I'm not sure what team you follow, but you recover. I know nothing about AFL, by the way. Nothing. I'll stick to NFL, thanks very much. Which is almost back after the Eagles got their rings. Well, hey. Super Bowl rings in the house. Jamie saying, in my eyes, we got a better manager. Ange by far plays better football and had the success to go with it. Yeah, things turned out good. Listen, the one narrative I've always saw is just absolute nonsense, though. And I do you know what? I would have preferred Ange as well. I'm not disagreeing with you, Jamie. But there was people who actively said, like, oh, Eddie Howe would have been shite anyway. No, he wouldn't have. He would have been fantastic. He would have came up here and done just as well as Ange did, maybe. He's a great coach, great manager. He's shown that at Newcastle. I never got it. I hated it when people were rewriting it like, oh, he would have never have been good anyway. Yes, he would have. He would have been very good. Very, very good. Would you have went down if it was in Newcastle? Nathan says, of course, absolutely. I'm gutted it's not. I hate that we don't get the wee trips down south in pre-season, but there's always people that take it too far, and I can see why they've been stripped of us, but come on, you've got to trust us at one point to take us down. So wait and see. Let's see. What else? What other points have we got? Hello, Adam. Good to see you. Shin Yamada, of course. Helen bring up the point of Shin Yamada, who signed for the club this morning, becomes Celtic's fifth signing off the window. Bit of a weird one, of course, after hearing what Brendan Rodgers said on that. But listen, I wish him all the success. I'm sure that we'll see him. We'll see glimpses of him. Of course, not involved in today's matchday squad after only signing literally this morning for Celtic, but nonetheless, I'm looking forward to seeing what he could bring. Hopefully, he's of use to us and hopefully does something. We are getting the first images of Celtic Park via my stream today. My section is empty. They've shut the upper portion of the North Curve, which is of course where I sit. That's where my season ticket is. And here's Shin Yamada actually coming on to the park now. But they've shut the sections 411 through like 414, which is a bit. I thought they would have opened 411 and 412. But they haven't. They've kept them shut, annoyingly. I would have liked to have sat my own seat, but I wasn't giving them the £25. Good crowd, though. I mean, out of the seats that were available to buy, they've turned it around quite well after the backlash of the game. Because, look at Shin Yamada getting torn into it, by the way. He's loving it. Look at me, man. Go on, son. Absolutely love it. I want every player that signs for the club to do well, but it's turned out a good crowd. Listen, it's a good day for those, like, the stadium, let's be honest about this, the majority of the stadium, Celtic fan-wise, we're hearing there's up to 11,000 Newcastle fans at the game today, right? There's apparently up to 11,000 of them there, but the Celtic fans, the vast majority at the games today aren't going to be season ticket holders, are going to be the type of fan who don't get a season ticket because the waiting list is too big or whatever, and good, it's nice that they get the chance to go along, take the kids, take family that have maybe not been to a Celtic game in a few years. It's good for them, but it's just a shame it was 25 fucking quid for a friendly. You know, that's the same price as we get charged for Scottish Cup games. Or League Cup games, but enough about the rant, and we're going to try our best to avoid all that today. But it'll be a nice day out for the people who are along there this afternoon, and it gives me a sort of comfort knowing that my seat's lying empty. Passion of rain as well, so do you know what? Maybe it's better off watching it in here. Thank you, Connor, for the donation. I appreciate it, my man. All right, Ryan. We get pumped today, 4-1 to Newcastle. Oh, well, that's optimistic. Thanks, Connor. I think we'll win. Played really well against Sporting midweek. There's no reason why we can't play really well today and get a result. Newcastle, I think, are just a little bit behind us in terms of pre-season preparation. And once again, it's a fucking friendly, so I don't really care what the score is. To avoid utter decimation would be nice. You know? Keep your points coming in, though. Keep your questions and such. We are expecting kick-off any moment. Now, the teams are actually making their way to the pitch as we speak, led out by, of course, Callum McGregor and Fabian Schär of Newcastle. So we'll be underway in a moment, so bear with me. Let's see, what other couple of points can we pick up? Can you take that stuff off from the screen? We don't want spoilers. I wish I could, but to be honest, it's all set up now. Do your best just to listen to me and not look at me, I suppose. Much better crowd than expected with 2 days to go, nearly a third of the capacity available to not much left this morning. Yeah, listen, there'll be a lot, as I said, a lot of people last minute, young kids will be like, Dad, take me to the game or whatever, you know, and good. If there is people can moderators help me out in the chat? I see that there's people asking for the banning of someone. Could moderators help me out? If so, I think they already have. I've not seen a comment from said man in a while. Is Green Brigade or boys there today? Nah, I'd imagine there'll be like members of them scattered about, but no, not in like group capacity, Helen. Not in group capacity. Teams are just shaking hands, getting ready for the huddle. I was about to say the huddle any minute now, in preparation for the start of the game. And I'll give you as best of a run through of the game as possible, but of course I want to hear all your points, all your conversation. My live count is broken. I have no idea how many people are currently watching with us. It's been stuck at 138 since I started the stream. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. Adam Ida arrested this morning for theft, stealing a wage apparently. Hey, see when he comes on here and scores this afternoon, I want apologies. I want loud apologies, you know. I want the apologies to be as loud as the disrespect. Simple as that. Thanks, Mackenzie, I appreciate it, mate. Right, well, we are just waiting for kick-off now. The managers are making their way to the dugouts. I didn't even get a good look at them. Apparently the new dugouts are out. I've not seen them yet. I've not had a good look. A good look. Who's the referee? Is that Clancy? No, is that, what one's that? Oh, Dick Walsh. She's a referee. Great. That's us gubbed. Nick Walsh refereeing. I don't quite know who his assistants and stuff are. Of course, there's no VAR in these games either. It is just the old-fashioned way. The way it used to be. The way it should be. No computers running our game. They gave trust in men, you know, or women nowadays, of course, who are just as good officials. Newcastle have done the scumbag approach and have swapped ends. So Celtic will be shooting towards the Celtic end, the Jockstein stand, for the first half. Of course, we're used to shooting up the Rangers end in the first half, but Newcastle have demanded a swap. Mind games in a friendly. Mind games in a bloody friendly. What are they playing at? Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate the donation, mate. Hi, Ryan. Could you wish Luke a happy 18th birthday? Of course I could. Happy 18th, Luke. Have a good day. You're now legal to have a drink. So go and enjoy yourself. Have a couple of jars. Raise one to the Celtic. Hope you have a good day. God bless, mate. There you go. Thank you for the donation, Daniel. Right. Game is about to kick off, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. It's time. Luke McCowan will get us underway here as we wait for Nick Walsh to blow the whistle. Celtic against Newcastle. The Adidas Cup is on the line. Here at Celtic Park, we return to paradise for the first time this season in the new kits, some of the new faces, and we are underway. Here we go at Celtic Park for the first half of Celtic against Newcastle. We start with the ball, of course. Rats! Swap men, says Ryan. Swap men's in a friendly, says Alan. I was talking to my dad earlier, and I was talking about how we've already won the Cork Super Cup. Oh, that's poor. Arne Engels got into a little bit of bother there, but Cal McGregor comes in to help him out, sweeps it up. I was talking to my dad earlier, and talking about how Celtic have already won the Cork Super Cup. How today we could win the Adidas Cup. And then next week we could win the Como Cup. And I said, God, we could have a treble. And my dad's already decided to call it the tea set. There you go. So if we win all three, we've won the tea set, in the words of old Stevie. But Celtic starting the game with the possession, of course, looking to get a comfortable start. I must say, the surface is looking magic. The pitch is looking fantastic. A big improvement. I obviously had the joy of playing on the Celtic Park surface at the end of the season, and it was pretty bad. It was very choppy. Your boots were getting stuck in it. It was very poor. But it's looking, apparently there was a relay of a new surface throughout the summer, and it's looking gorgeous. It's looking like a brilliant pitch. It looks, well, don't make it sound daft here on the face, but it looks very green. A lot greener than it normally would be. So yeah, we'll see how it fares as the season goes on. Newcastle have a chance here, dealt with really well by Hayato Inamura, as Jacob Murphy tried to carve out a chance on that right hand side. Inamura, of course, up against Murphy this afternoon, a much bigger test than what he had against Cork City. Corner kick now, free kick specialist, set piece specialist Kieran Trippier will stand over it as the very packed Newcastle end looks on. Ball sent in from Trippier. The shocking Celtic TV camera work. Struggles to follow the ball, but a header from whoever that is went over the bar. Who is that? Is that the new guy, Ursula or something? I think it is. Yeah, it was a good cross from Trippier. Unmarked though. Tony Ralston letting his man go. And he's lucky that the header was maybe just a little bit too hard in that moment as Celtic start from the back once more. The grass is always greener in the east. You're quite right, Matthew. Hello, Ryan. How you doing? Logan Paul's here. Nice to see him. What you saying? Watching this game to do some scouting for my fantasy team. Hey, good shout, by the way. Cracking shout, Logan. I was talking about fantasy football earlier on today and thinking about some of the nail-ons for this season. Newcastle, I can't think of any nail-ons, bar Isaac if he stays. Alanga, if he played every week, would be, but he won't play every week. Great ball, by the way. Dyson Maida's touch lets him down, and it'll go back to Nick Pope. It was a fantastic wee ball over, and Dyson Maida maybe just not ready for the ball in the circumstances it came with. McGregor it was, it sent a lovely ball from around the halfway line, and there you go. Maida just ricochets off his right knee, and it'll end up back with Nick Pope. They were calling for a potential offside, but I don't know if they called it. Of course, I'm not listening to the commentary, so God knows if they called it or not. Ian, hail from that place in Wales which no cunt can pronounce. Aye, Linfunghornley. You think I can pronounce that? Brilliant there, by the way. Fantastic interception from Austin Trusty. That was really, really good done. Good work from him. As Newcastle tried to play a lovely through ball into the box, but Austin Trusty with a big last-ditch tackle just to send the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel as Celtic looked to start from the back again. But Newcastle doing what we were doing effectively against Sporting on Wednesday, pressing high up the park. Johnny Kenny wins the ball. Done really well. It looked as though that it was maybe going to end up back with one of the Newcastle centre halves. Plays a lovely wee ball into Luke McCowan if he can find Kenny again, and it's intercepted by Kieran Trippier just before it can get there, and Arne Engels fouls the Newcastle player. I think it was Bruno he fouled there. Or maybe it was Lewis Miley, actually. Bernardo is on the bench today, Craig. He is back. He's back, which is good. Hail from Middlesbrough. Hello, Anthony. Brendan looking dripped out. He's in his best track here this afternoon, Aaron, isn't he? Newcastle have the ball, approaching the 5-minute mark in the game. And no clear-cut chances as of yet. Newcastle maybe the more positive of both sides. Ball sent out wide for Jacob Murphy. Just a little bit too much on it. No one will go out for a Celtic throw-in. Who wins in a boxing match, Howe or Rodgers? Have you seen the clips of Rodgers boxing? There's only one answer to that. There's a difference, yeah? There's a difference here. We're talking class with Brendan. Brendan Rodgers doesn't have a statue of Winston Churchill in his fucking living room. Right? We know who wins. The rebel with a cause. Brendan Rodgers. Easy. Fabian Schär will start the ball from the back now. Sent back to Nick Pope. Interesting season for Newcastle coming up, of course, who are looking to build on what has been a very successful few years under Eddie Howe. Interesting to see how that goes. They've been impressive, don't get me wrong. However, they couldn't beat Eric Ten Hag's Tricky Reds in the League Cup final. That's all I'll say. Bet another bald Dutchman in the League Cup final, but they couldn't beat Eric Ten Hag. So, who's the real winners? Terrible ball away from Celtic, by the way. It wasn't very convincing, and now it'll be picked up by Harvey Barnes. As Newcastle look to go forward, Celtic setting up quite well though in defensive shape. Cal McGregor comes running up the back of the Newcastle players. They're forced to take the ball backwards. Rodgers has that easy target of a massive nose though. Listen, it's not about the nose, it's about the chin. It's about the chin, and our manager has the strongest chin this side of the border. I'll tell you that right now. Big chin. Ball claimed by Kasper Schmeichel. Celtic look to try and maybe forge their first convincing attack of the game, spearheaded by Callum McGregor. Sends it to out wide now, with Yang. And Yang and McGregor playing the passes between themselves on that right hand side, looking to make something happen. The question is, can they make it happen? I might need to crack the window in here, it's getting bloody warm, I'll tell you that. There we go. Crack that ever so slightly. Hopefully that doesn't bug up the lighting too much, you know. What time is the Ajax game in Como? I think it might be a 7:45, but I'm not entirely sure. Celtic offside there. Without Gaza, Shearer, Ginola and Beardsley, Newcastle nowhere near Newcastle nowhere near full strength. Without them and Anthony McParland and Declan Donnelly, they're gubbed, you know. Wonder if they're watching this afternoon. Wonder if they've made the trip up north, you know. Probably busy. I'd imagine that the two of them are busy. If Ant can even drive yet, I'm not sure. James asking, do I think if Dane Murray could be the centre-half Rodgers has been talking about? Listen, I have high hopes for Dane Murray, man. I do. I know that some people are still not convinced by him all that much, but my God, the boys hit the weight room this summer, and I've just been
pretty impressed with what I've seen of him in pre-season. Brilliant chance here for Celtic. Luke McCowan sends the ball to Yang on the right-hand side, who tries to cut in and runs it straight. Didn't even... Yep, that was poor. Just ran straight into Bruno. No direction in the run whatsoever. Just went straight into Bruno. And Newcastle take the ball back after what looked like a promising chance for Celtic. Swept up by McGregor. We go again. Yang back to McGregor playing the safe pass. Luke McCowan sends it to Arne Engels, who's in tons of space. He'll send it out wide to Hayato Inamura. Celtic just now trying to find a pocket of space somewhere towards Newcastle's box, but proving difficult. A lot of blue shirts behind the ball, actually. Austin Trusty, been trusted with the ball. Hayato Inamura, brilliant from Inamura to dart into the middle of the field. Sends a great ball back, brilliant, but he's never offside. He was played on. Or was he? If Yang was offside there, then... No, yeah, he was. He was a mile off. I thought he was getting played on at first. No, he was a mile off. But a great ball from Inamura, by the way. Fantastic ball from him. Just a shame that Yang was a mile offside. Not in front of the TV. How's the crowd? Crowd's good, man. They've filled it out pretty well. I think it's, aside from the section shut up where I sit, where my season ticket is, that's what I would say is it's pretty much a full house. Aside from that, Newcastle End, of course, full. We're hearing that there's up to 11,000. And all the available sections that were on sale are essentially sold out this afternoon. So, Inamura and Arne Engels having a bit of miscommunication there, or Arne Engels at least telling Inamura just to calm down. I think Inamura was under a wee bit of pressure there, just rushed it a little bit. And you can see Engels just trying to bring him back down. Trying to ensure that we play with a calmness. Of course, one thing that we're getting to see from this game is the players that we could come up against the Champions League. There is every chance that we could play Newcastle. Newcastle are a potential team that we play in the competition this season. A team that I wouldn't mind drawing, to be honest. They are good. I'm not saying that I would actively want to draw them, but I'm not entirely sure what pot they would be in. That's if they were in the pot, if they're still in pot 4, then I don't want them at all, because that would probably be the strongest team you can get out pot 4. I want the absolute shite. I want the drivel of pot 4. But nonetheless, here goes Harvey Barnes darting down Newcastle's left wing towards the right side of our defence, just looking for that support to pass the ball off to. He does find someone eventually, but it's kind of killed all the momentum of the forward run, and Tony Ralston will do a pretty good job to send the ball away with a ricochet, so it goes out for a Celtic goal kick. Game is on Celtic TV this afternoon, for anybody asking. If you are wondering what station, what network you can watch on, it's only on Celtic TV. I'm assuming it's on Newcastle TV if they have such a thing. I don't know if it's called like Magpie Telly or something, but we're saying I'd take Spurs over Newcastle in the Champions League. Yeah, I don't know. I have a really good feeling about Spurs under Thomas Frank. I tell you what, I feel so sorry for Ange, because the recruitment that Tottenham are doing would suit Ange to a bastard T, and he's not there to get the rewards of it. But I feel like he's been so hard done by. Funnily enough, young Miley that plays for Newcastle is wearing the number 67 shirt for them, which fits in pretty well at Celtic Park, of course. But I agree. I want 2 Wi-Fi passwords for pot 4. Exactly that. That's exactly what I'm wanting. But I think I'd take both of them are good teams, man. Like, I know Tottenham are off the back of a pretty torrid season, all things considered. But under Thomas Frank, I think they'll have a pretty good year. I think it'll be a pretty tough draw if we got any of those two sides. I just want the easiest draw possible, which would be avoiding any of those two sides, in all honesty. So we'll wait and see. Aaron saying, if we sign another striker, surely that would mean 2 of Osman Kenny or Yamada will have to be punted out and load. You would assume so, Aaron. You would. You can't have... Put it this way, right? If we start the season with a new striker, Shin Yamada, Adam Ida, Callum Osman, Johnny Kenny, that's 5 strikers. You only need 3. Can't have 5 strikers cutting about. That's just far too much. So, big chance here, by the way, for Newcastle. Kieran Trippier pulls one back. Callum McGregor. I've been very impressed with McGregor. I've not spoken enough about McGregor in pre-season because Callum McGregor just falls under constant class, doesn't he? So you don't praise him as much as you should. But his defensive actions in pre-season thus far have been fantastic. He's always been sharp. He's always been first in to deal with crosses. I've been very, very impressed with Callum McGregor in pre-season, and what he done there has been resemblant of what he done against Sporting Lisbon and other sides. I'm starting to get a good look at the new dugouts now at Celtic Park. Not much different, are they? Not much different. Not down in the gutter like they used to be. They've been raised to surface level, pitch level. But it doesn't look too much different. Nathan pointing out that we got Villa from pot 4 last year. Yeah, exactly. Seeing how that went. We actually didn't play bad against Villa, to be fair. It was just, they're so good. And Unai Emery is just one of the best. I'll die in that. I genuinely think that Unai Emery, for me, is a top 10 coach in Europe. I just think he's unbelievable. So, we were just outclassed that day. And we were always got to be, because they're very, very good. McGregor plays a forward pass. Very nicely done. Yang has a chance to get a ball in. He gets a ball. Oh, Arne Engels. Oh, it's Felty. Oh, big chance. Arne Engels with a really poor connection on the ball. And Johnny Kenny couldn't follow up for second helpings. But it was a great ball in from Yang. It was a great bit of play from McGregor into McCowan. And then McCowan plays a brilliant ball. And Yang plays a brilliant ball. I don't... Was there a touch on the ball that maybe puts Engels off, actually? I think there might have been. I think that one of the defenders just got a touch on the ball on the way into Arne Engels' feet, which might have just threw him off a wee bit. But it's a corner for Celtic, swung in deep, and Johnny Kenny can't get the right connection on the ball. Just another look at the corner. McCowan again went deep for the cross, and it was well contested by Matty Targett on that left-hand side. No, Alexander Isak is not involved in the Celtic... the Newcastle. Of course, he's not involved. Wish he was. Not involved with the Newcastle squad today. Nick Pope will play a ball out from the back. We got any Newcastle fan? I feel like I'm hosting bingo or something. Got any Newcastle fans in? Give us a shout. Hey, now everybody for Scotland. Hey, what about Ireland? Hey, got any English? Boo. God almighty. It's time for me to wrap it up. Got a lot of Wolsey asking, would you lot have took Howe as manager when he was linked? Well, I can't answer for everybody, Wolsey, but I'm not going to rewrite my feelings at the time. I'm assuming you're not a Celtic fan, Wolsey. Of course I would have. I was gutted when he didn't take the Celtic job. When Celtic released... I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years now. Number one most subscribed Celtic fan channel on YouTube, if I don't mind saying. And at the time, I was gutted. I mean, the videos were flying, and I was actively campaigning for Howe as manager from the minute Lenny was sacked. So I was devastated, but I wouldn't change anything, put it that way. I wouldn't change it. I would have if I could rewrite history, I would take Ange Postecoglou every single time. But at that moment, I was absolutely devastated that we didn't get Eddie Howe, and I wouldn't lie about that. What would be the sake of lying about it? Newcastle going forward now. Sven Botman sends a ball out wide to Matty Targett. Just once again, Newcastle often killing the momentum of their own attacks, it feels like. I don't know if that's just a lack of match sharpness that's maybe doing it. Fabian Schär with a wonderful ball out to Targett on the left hand side. I've always been a big fan of Fabian Schär. I think he's a great... I mean, in fact, who's been here long enough? Who's been watching this channel long enough? I think it was like 2016 or 2017 when I was on here talking about Fabian Schär and how Celtic should sign him. Who's been here long enough for that? Does anybody remember that? I remember making those videos. I really wanted him to be a Celtic player, and then obviously by the time we went to Newcastle, that was over and done with. That was over and done with. Ball in from Newcastle for a corner kick, but very poor connection from a Newcastle player. However, he's kept hold of it really, really well. Targett will send the ball in from the left-hand side. That has to be dealt with. Botman strikes on goal and looked like he just got the 9-iron out almost, trying to clip it over. It was actually Fabian Schär, who I've just been ranting and raving about. And that was a fantastic opportunity, you could say, if it was a striker, but as a defender's finish. Don't get me wrong, Scher's got a strike on him. And he just, by the way, he's not far off. Celtic powering forward now. Tony Ralston's seen a massive gap to move forward into. Hits a long ball for Dyson Maeda, who just can't bring it down, and it will go out wide again to go with Inamura. Arne Engels has it now. Can Engels find the pass? Puts it out wide to Inamura again. Can we get a ball in the box? Takes a deflection and it'll make its way to Nick Pope. Thank you, Liam Godfrey, for joining the club. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Welcome yourself in. It's good to have you. God almighty. Loads of points and loads of questions piling in. That did make it worse, Blake. It went on for ages with Howe, and it just hurt even more at the end. Hurt even more. Who was it? I seen Kevin. Yeah, Schär was linked to us, and then Newcastle signed him. Payne. That's right. Yep. I was on here begging for us to sign him because I kind of seen glimpses of him over in the continent when he was there there at the time, and he would have been a great signing for us. You know, it would have been a fantastic signing, but nonetheless, can't compete with Newcastle, can you? Well, you could maybe at that point, you actually could, but not now. Not now. Big money down south. Can't really compete with it. Thank you for your loyalty, Mark Shankland. I appreciate that. Newcastle looking to create something here. Ball out wide again to Matty Target, who's been somebody they've went to a few times. Terrible cross that's poorly dealt with by Inamura. Murphy just taking the ball into the box. Newcastle looking to find that space. Celtic set up once again. Defensive shape of Celtic has looked very, very good. Resemblant of what we'll need to do in Europe a lot this season. Just against these bigger sides. Just set up shop and make sure that we're robust. That's the word they'll use. Target slips it off to Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes slips it back to Bruno, who was thinking about it from range. Still is and will go for it. But it goes flailing wide. What's my thoughts of Inamura so far, Ryan? I mean, I've been impressed with what I've seen of him so far, Dave. It's just a matter of, will we see that translated over to competitive football? Will he get the chances? God knows. We'll wait and see. Celtic trying to go forward again. Hey! Foul! Playing on, no. Dyson Maida just got back up and on with it. Yang sends a ball in. Oh, it's a big save from Pope. It was nearly an own goal. Massive save from Nick Pope, by the way. Jeez, oh. Yang sent a ball in. That is a magnificent save from Nick Pope. And now we've got a Newcastle player down. There is an injury of some form. But Dyson Maida filled in the middle of the park. Got right back up. Still spearheaded. Sent the ball out wide to Yang. Yang got a lovely cross in that did only meet its first man in Fabian Schär. But little did Yang know at the time at the cross that the touch of Fabian Schär would almost lead to a goal. And it's a huge save from Nick Pope. Massive save. Reactions like a cat. Fantastic. Puts it out for a corner kick. And Celtic very unlucky not to be 1-0 up just around 20 minutes into the game. Fabian Schär let off big time through the save from the holy goalie. And how has Joe Willock came off worse than Maida there, by the way? I think he's still down. He was the one that came in to foul Maida. I mean, I've got no sympathy for Willock. He's the one that's tried to go in, wipe Maida out, and in doing so, has hurt himself. So, get it up him. That's all I can say. I don't have any remorse or sympathy. He deliberately tried to wipe Maida out, and he's hurt himself. And Willock is going off the park. It seems like it's his head that he's done or something like that. Anyway, Celtic have a corner kick. I'll come back to the chat in a moment. Luke McCowan stands over the ball from the corner for another in-swinger. Last corner kick was sent a bit deep for Johnny Kenny's liking. This time, can we get it more central into the area where all the players are? No, we'll go short, in fact, to Yang, who sends it off to McGregor, who's standing in the corner of the box. Back to Yang. Just a waste of a corner. Just a wait. Oh, well, actually, hold on. Don't speak too soon, Ryan. Arne Engels. Ralston. Yep, waste of a corner. Waste of a corner. What was the point in that? What was the fucking point? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yang has the ball out wide and it's all the way back to Dane Murray. Yes, Aaron, please. Set piece coach. I would love a set piece coach. My God almighty. Do you know what one of my pet hates in football? Is the short corner kick. I hate the short corner kick. When it works well and it's genius. Let's go back to some of the famous short corner kicks that have led to goals. But my goodness God almighty, a corner kick was made to get a fucking ball in the box. And I guess we're not a team blessed with height, but we've got Dane Murray in the park. Arne Engels is quite a sizable young boy. That sounded terrible. Aye. Watching from Portland, Oregon. Go Ducks, Greg. Go Ducks. How you doing? Welcome in. I'm oh my God. Oh, Dane Murray's been sold. Bruno, he's got a man to his right. Great from Trusty again. Tell you what, Trusty's had a good start to this game. Trusty bailing us out for the second time there. Just a little bit naive of Dane Murray for a moment. And Bruno obviously just outclassing him, showing why he's a top Premier League midfielder. But Austin Trusty with a very, very good bit of defensive work to make sure that Newcastle didn't sip the ball out right. Maybe Bruno a wee bit at the blame as well for taking so long to spot that pass. I think it was Bruno anyway. Maybe it wasn't Bruno, but it looked like him from afar. Actually, I don't think it was Bruno now I think about it. I think it might have been the big striker. It might have been him. Who I don't even know who that is up front. Who is up front for Newcastle? Who is that? Not even going to pretend. But as I was saying, I'm not a Ducks fan, but go Ducks for the sake of Portland. Or Oregon. I don't even know if it is in Portland. I just know it's in Oregon. If the so-called Big Six, the Premier League, carry making up rules to stop Newcastle, would you lads up north take us in your league? I don't think that's up to me, Wolsey. I really don't. But listen, I'm all up for the expansion of the Scottish Premiership. I'm all up for taking Newcastle up north. I remember the Kevin Bridges joke where he was like, I will just get a big fucking saw and bring his up north with us, you know. Here's a chance now. Here is the big man Osceola, I've been told, up front, strikes on goal. Schmeichel with a good save. Had to readjust his feet there, Schmeichel. It was a bit of a weird one. I think it might have took a deflection on its way to Kasper Schmeichel, so he was really, really good there. Schmeichel showed how sharp of a keeper he still is for his age. And Schmeichel's, listen, he's a big boy, Schmeichel, but he moves really, really well. Here we go, just having a look at it again. Osceola gets the shot away, and I think it does take a touch off Dane Murray on the way there. And Kasper Schmeichel readjusts his feet brilliantly to just send the ball out for a corner kick, which is sent out now by Kieran Trippier. It's met by a few, but a bit scrappy, and Celtic get rid of it eventually. Let's get a couple of the points that have been brought up in the chat addressed, shall we? Aaron saying, I think we're better with short corners since all our players are wee, but then you don't have a coach working on them, they're horrific. And see, I don't mind short corners when they're well worked. I know that sounds so like, but like, I don't know, I just get the ball in the box, man. I'm get Sam Allardyce in charge. Short corners now and again are absolutely fine, 100%, as Nathan says. Sticking your two centre-backs up to roll. Exactly, it makes... If you're going to play, and I guess the whole point is you've got to deceive the opposition, isn't it? If you just kept your centre backs back in position, then the opposition would go, well, we're not going to send the ball in the box here. So, but then you play a short pass, and then you're just left exposed at the back, aren't you? It's just a bit silly. But we need a set piece coach. I've been crying for it for years. I will die before we probably appoint one. But next time I'm at a fucking fan media conference, if I ever go to one again, I might ask, I might demand, I might refuse to leave the building before they if they don't sign a set piece coach, you know. I'd love to have Northern English teams in the league, says Blake. Guy, get Carlisle and Newcastle and Sunderland up. Get them all up in the league. Just have a North and South league. I've always wondered if in my lifetime we will see some form of combination, because you know, you see Scottish teams financially struggling at the minute and stuff like that. And I'm like, I wonder if it ever will come to a point, just the way society's going, where they're like, right, to save football in Scotland, we need to start thinking about a joint league. Great wee pass in from McCowan. Maida for Engels. Oh, he's been brought down as a penalty. Surely he has. He's pointed to the spot. It's a penalty kick for Celtic. Arne Engels, just as he was going to strike the ball, was tackled very unfairly. It's an absolute penalty kick. And it's a chance for Celtic to go up 1-0 against the English side. I mean, the Newcastle players are going over. Bruno, the captain, going over to try and argue with Nick Walsh. McCowan, good ball from Maida. It's a penalty every day of the week. I mean, it's going to be a goal. It's going to be a goal if Engels doesn't get brought down there. It's a goal Celtic. And he's just kind of clipped in the back. Absolutely a penalty kick. Celtic have the chance to go up 1-0. Here, I'm not looking at the chat. I'm going to try and react to it live. So I'll come back to the chat in a moment. We'll see if we can score it. Callum McGregor has the ball in hand. Will he take the penalty though? That's the question. He has the ball in hand. Jacob Murphy looking a bit cheesed off. Arne Engels approaching, and it will be Arne Engels to take. Arne Pengels! I love a bit of Arne Pengels, you know. Just about to hit the 27-minute mark. Celtic could be 1-0 up. No names in the back of the shirts yet. Pisses me off, that. Here we go. Arne Engels steps over the ball. The man who won the penalty kick for Celtic steps up. Can he convert? Looks calm. Great penalty. 1-0 Celtic. It's a goal. And we take the lead against Newcastle. Fantastic strike from Arne Engels. Cool, calm and collected. As good as you like for Arne Engels to put us up 1-0. Aye, your grannies could do it. That's what you all say down south, innit? Oh, my nan could do it up there. I would try a Geordie accent, but I can't. My nan could do it up there. No, she can't. Fuck up. There we go. Celtic 1, Newcastle 0. We take the lead through an Arnie Pengels penalty. Fantastic. Hoping for a bit. Look, listen, what did I say in May? What have I been saying on the Celtic, the Thunder and such since May? My big point, my big conversation, my big claim for this year is that Arnie Engels could be Celtic Player of the Year. And if he gets 10 penalties this season, then it's a good start. Celtic win the ball back straight from kickoff, by the way. Intensity is very much with Celtic in this first half. But Newcastle defend it quite well. They'll calm it down. And Nick Pope forced to rush into clearing the ball. And Celtic will win a throw-in. Celtic 1, Newcastle 0. Good start. Listen, Celtic have looked impressive so far in the game. I would say so myself anyway. I mean, against a side like this anyway, I think that we're doing pretty well. You know? Throw in for Celtic. We have over 1,300 live viewers right now, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Also, before I get back to the gaming, before I get back to the chat, if you haven't already, please make sure to go and check out the Celtic Exchange on YouTube, on Twitter, on every other platform. But more in particular, you can become a free member of their Patreon. There is a free tier, and you can go over there, and for free, you can listen to me and Tino's conversation that we had the other day, just the two of us in the Celtic Exchange studios. We had a great conversation about Celtic summer so far, about the pre-season up until this point, and it was a great laugh. Tino was one of the best Celtic podcasters out there, him and the guys over at the Celtic Exchange, Paddy, James, and such. So yeah, go and listen to that. You can join their Patreon. If you just go over to their website, thecelticexchange.com, you will find that podcast. So it was a great conversation. It's good to be in the company of different people sometimes. As Newcastle go forward, we will return to the chat in a moment or so, because Newcastle are trying to make something happen. Bruno Guimaraes looking to maybe move the ball. He takes his time, Bruno, to make a decision. Jacob Murphy did get the shot away, but it was very well defended by Celtic. Bruno just a wee bit greedy. Maybe it's that Brazilian flair. I don't know, but he's a couple of occasions I've noticed that in this game. And I'm a big fan of Bruno. I think he's a fantastic player. But nonetheless. Celtic on track to win the infamous Adidas Cup, says Beans. Exactly. Trusty has been brilliant so far, Kerr. I've been very impressed with what I've seen of Austin Trusty so far. As we pan into some Newcastle fans in the crowd, who I'm sure are getting a little bit of a fright, saying that the Scottish champions, who could be beaten by grands up and down the country, lead the game 1-0 against a very strong Newcastle side at that, who haven't offered much of a threat so far. But hey, long way to go in the game. Only half an hour played. Ball sent in. Newcastle have a chance. Header on goal from Jacob Murphy. Collected very well by Kasper Schmeichel. Where's the Rhyme 118 studios? I'm in it right now. And until I move out of this place, this is all I have to do. Mr. C saying, I reckon Hatate, Trusty and KT have been challenged to lead, but I'm also just throwing shit at the wall. Maybe Trusty's just been challenged to play well. Well, Hatate is not in the park yet, Mr. C. And neither's Kieran Tierney. However, Austin Trusty, if he has been challenged to play well, is doing a good job at it, because he's, so far, one of my players of the half. Austin Trusty. I love the way Big Casper catches the ball. That's a very nice observation, Blake. I enjoy those niche observations. He must have read it, Patman. He must have. Celtic in possession of the ball just around the halfway line. Get back in the TSF studio. TSF, man. TSF. If only Buick would leave the Highlands. If only. If he ever does, listen, never say never. I would love to do stuff with David again. You know, it was some of the most fun I've had on YouTube. Some of the best times I've had on YouTube was with David. Nobody clip that and show him. It's far too soppy. We play FM with each other every night, and all we do is slag each other. So don't let him see that. Whatever you do. Trusty plays better against better competition. His games in the Champions League last year, for example, says Ryan. Yeah, I mean, I often the example I always use of how I know that Austin Trusty is a good player, and there's a good player in there somewhere, a good defender in there somewhere. So I always come back to Bergamo and Atalanta. I always come back to that night, and him and Scales, against all odds, played out their skin. And maybe that's listen, I made the observation about Adam Ida. So I just spoke about the conversation I had with Tino on the Celtic Exchange, Adam Ida is very, very similar. You think of Adam Ida, and you think of the Scottish Cup final. You think of the game against Motherwell, which arguably spearheaded Celtic on to win the title. You think about his high-pressure debut against Hibs. You think about Aston Villa in the Champions League. You think about the big, big stages. Somehow Adam Ida does it. But then when the pressure's off and we're playing Diddies, Adam Ida looks so he can kick his own arse. I don't know if Trusty and Ida have just decided to come up here for a laugh and do that. But listen, it's bizarre. It is bizarre. Player of the half, woke nonsense. Hey, listen, wait till what was it they were calling it in the Club World Cup? Like something of the match, like I don't know, it was superstar of the match or something like that. It sounded like a fucking Slammy award, you know. World Cup of Beers 2026, Aaron, absolutely. I want to do it. Oh, here we go, by the way. Good ball for Tony Ralston. Can he connect it down? Just kind of ran away from a little bit. Unlucky for Tony Boy. And Newcastle win the ball back, but a decent bit of thinking from Celtic. Oh, the big man. Austin Trusty, where has this been? Where is it? He's been booked. How's he been booked? What's a tackle? His tackle of the year. Oh, and he's lying there holding his ankle. Booked my arse. Superior player. That was it. Superior player of the match. But there was a clean... The game's gone. The game's gone. The game is fucking gone. What a tackle from Trusty. Fill my hole. Big Trusty. Never a yellow card. Not a month for Sundays. Robbed there. Absolutely robbed of a tackle of the year. Oh, aye, and guess what? Newcastle players up now. Ankle's fine. Terrible. I do agree, Mackenzie. Enamura is looking good again. But Aaron, I definitely want to do the World Cup of Beers next year. But it'll be expensive, considering it's the expanded World Cup, isn't it? But we'll try and make it happen. Left exposed, Tony Ralston nowhere to be seen, and Harvey Barnes will cut inside against Dane Murray, sends a ball. Trusty deals with it once again. A real standout performance from him in this opening 35 minutes for me. It's a foul from Luke McCowan that gives Newcastle a free kick. Slammy Award, Celtic OMG Moment of the Year. Brendan Rodgers turns up to training without Gucci belt. There's your winner. I think that's the most positive thing I've heard Ryan say about Ronaldo all pre-season. Listen, I'm harsh on them because I want them to be better, you know? I want them to be better. Inamura for Ballon d'Or, says Lord Mayor. We'll wait and see. He's on good track for it right now. Fill my hole, is that a request? Sometimes, you know, you just get caught saying things. You know, you get caught saying things. When you're constantly live on YouTube, you know. I don't know how the IRL streamers do it, by the way. Here we go, Dyson Maida. Poor cross. Maida, he had time. He had time. I don't know what Maida was thinking there. He had so much space as well. Why did he do that? Poor from Dyson Maida. It's showing signs of his old self in the last couple of games. I don't like that. McCowan, wee ball through for Dyson. Dyson, what are you doing? What is Maida playing at? What's that? What the hell? Look at Roger's face. He knows. He's like, what the fuck's he playing at? You know? Aye. Well. Brooklyn, thank you for the donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Will there be a trophy lift? I mean, there'll be a trophy lift, but not like, they're not going to get the platform and the fireworks and that out or march up the stairs like it's Wembley. There'll be like a wee presentation at the end of the game, something minor, Brooklyn, but nothing of great significance. Thank you for the donation, though. I appreciate it. Keep your points coming in, ladies and gents. If there's anything missed, then I'll get there. How's Inamura playing? Ash Ross been playing well? Not done anything wrong? Look, well, there was one wee minor thing. He rushed and Arnie Engels kind of had to tell me to calm down, but I mean, it was nothing of great, you know, disappointment or anything like that. I'm a big fan of Inamura so far. I mean, what you can take in pre-season anyway. But, you know, nearly coming up to half-time, just about 8 minutes left to play. Celtic, in my opinion, have been the more effective side. Newcastle have had what looks to be more of the ball. I don't know the exact stats. I would say they've probably had an edge on possession. And they've been forward a lot more, but they've done nothing. They've not threatened. Celtic, you know, could have had a goal, albeit an own goal. Scored the penalty, of course, which would have been a goal if Engels wasn't fouled. Maida had a moment that could have been something a bit better. Yeah, Celtic have been the more effective side. in the game so far, and I say that without the green tinted specs. Kasper Schmeichel waiting late to make the pass, and Luke McCowan played it back to Dane Murray, and there was just struggling. Celtic just kind of having to calm things down a wee bit here, playing it out from the back. One well in the middle. Dyson's touches. Dyson was out last night. I'm convinced of it. I think he was on the lash, to be quite honest. Mr. C, though, making a point. I'm happy for Maida to play shite until the window shuts. You know what? Fair. Fair. Except the derby. You know, play well in the derby, please. That's before the window shuts. But he's having a bit of a nightmare so far in the first half in this game. Thank you, Kane, for the donation. The people yearn for your 2K26 roster predictions. Right, fine. We'll do that in like January, right? We'll bring it back. Long ball from Celtic. Brilliant. By the way, Yang. There's the ball. Kenny. Oh, no. Kenny. That's another one. Celtic should have 3 or 4. Johnny Kenny and Adam Ida have swapped boots. Oh, and even Kenny, look at the look in Kenny's face. He knows it. That's a big one. That was like me at Parkhead. That was me when I was playing there. Oh, Yang, the burst of pace to get... Brilliant from Yang, by the way. Great ball to Yang as well. Oh, Kenny. That's a big chance gone wide. I mean, gone wide is paying him a compliment. This went out for a fucking throw-in, I think. Oh, bloody hell. Celtic should be free up, man. It's a sitter from Johnny Kenny with about 5 minutes to go. We've played very, very well. Very impressed of what I've seen of Celtic so far. The only goal, so if you are joining in late and you're wondering who has scored the goal, Arne Engels converted a penalty for Celtic just before the half-hour mark. So 1-0 up. 1-0 up, not too bad. Poor one there. Celtic should be 2 up. Should be 3 up, to be quite honest. Could be 4 up. As I said, it all comes off the back of what I was saying a moment or so ago about how Celtic have been the more effective side in the game and have looked better with chances. Newcastle not really creating anything too convincing in the game, despite probably enjoying more of the ball. And Newcastle, is there a moment of applause or something happening? Have I missed something? There's Newcastle fans are clapping. I hope I'm not being disrespectful. Apologies for maybe not knowing what's going on. Thank you, Matthew. Ball over the top. Johnny Kenny, offside. Matthew, thank you for the donation. Hashtag Yang Gang prevails. Well, listen, it's a big stage from, he's got a few games now to really maybe show something to Celtic. But here, we're hearing that Yang is the one that's wanting to explore a move. So, God knows, but he's played well. I'm not the biggest fan of Yang. And I don't think that's any secret. But I'll give him his credit where his credit's due. I'm never gonna say somebody's played shite when they're playing pretty well. So Celtic deal with a cross. Yang picks it up. Get tore in, Yang, son. Get tore in. McGregor tries to come and help, but somehow the ball stays with Newcastle. Once again, cover over that right hand side of our defence is pretty poor, and Ralston throws himself in front of the shot. Pretty brave of him. He recovered after his pretty poor marking, but a really brave effort from Tony Ralston to stop Harvey Barnes' effort on goal. However, it has knocked him out. Ralston is on the deck. It's that right hand side where we've just given Harvey Barnes a little bit too much respect, I would say. And the ball cannons off Tony Ralston as it keeps him on the ground. He's back up now. He's a big boy. Nearly at half time. If Celtic could hold on to the 1-0 lead going into the half, be pretty happy with that. And I think all of us, if you're all watching the game, which I assume the majority of us are, Celtic fans anyway, I think you'd be pretty happy how we've played in this first half. A lot of positives to take from it. And, the chance for Newcastle is blocked on its way goalwards. Shah is a very dangerous player to have at a set piece. I'd love to have a player like him in my box. I meant that one, by the way. What was I going to say there? I'm throwing myself off with my dirty humour. Oh God, chance now. Kasper Schmeichel comes running at it. Shula takes it round Schmeichel, and Trusty again there. What a first half of the big Austin Trusty. Austria took the ball round Schmeichel, and the cross comes in, and it would have been a goal at any other moment if not for Austin Trusty, who defends the ball very, very well once again. Look at this. Big Austria just knocks it round Schmeichel. Schmeichel has to get to the ground, and really well defended once again. Casper needs a few weeks on the heel. I'm Gary Neville, and I love you. Every morning I wake up, I think about you. I love Hugh. Love it. What's everybody's favourite shirt sponsor? Mine's is Sharp. Sorry, I'll get it by. Corner for Newcastle, ball swung in. Headed towards goal. There's a bit of pinball going on, but there's been some form of foul called. Schmeichel was calling for it as soon as the corner kick was taken, and Celtic have a free kick. Schmeichel, you ain't no Neuer. Well, listen, take it easy on him. He's about 40. Helen saying, I'm not watching the game, don't have Celtic TV. He was supposed to be there. Oh, it's a shame. I mean, listen, it's pissing the rain. Maybe you've dodged a call there, and don't be too down on it. I don't have the time to watch the friendlies this year. A good wee idea for a video would be your summary thoughts of all the games, which players have looked good, average and poor. Not a bad idea, Greg. Maybe something we can visit at the conclusion of the Como Cup. That's not a bad shout, actually. We'll see how... It all depends how busy next week is, basically. Or the week following the Como Cup, I should say. How much is happening, how many videos. I've still got to do my season prediction video, my wake up ranking video. So if I have time, certainly something. Ryan, give us an it can. Mick, it can't get any worse than this, can it? It can. Hugh. We're all talking about Hugh in the chat. Thank you, Ronan, for the donation. £2 saying Trusty, Yang and Inamura all playing well. Absolutely playing well. Celtic have the ball over on Inamura's side of the pitch after that donation. Thank you, Ronan. God bless. I appreciate your donation. We are coming up for half time. Just about to come up to the 45th minute. I can see some activity in the chat, which I think means something is about to happen. Something that Celtic fans might be quite happy about. I'm waiting for it to happen. Kasper Schmeichel currently has the ball for me. Hits it long. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my! Oh, the Pope's had a blinder. Oh, the Pope's passed one on to Celtic. Look at the look in Johnny Kenny's face. Listen, easy finish or no, you've got to be there to do the work. It's Celtic 2. Newcastle now. We're winning the Champions League. We're winning the bloody Champions League. We're doing it. We're doing it. 2-0 Celtic. Johnny Kenny. Look, Kasper Schmeichel with the assist. Look at Jason Tyndall. Hey, you vain bastard. Have one of them. Oh, bloody brilliant. Look at that Pope. Ah, you stupid cunt. Brilliant. Sorry, pardon the French. Not the Pope. Leo would have done better there, by the way. Leo would have done a better job than Nick. Brilliant. Johnny Kenny just slots it in. I mean, it's the easiest goal he's going to get in his whole career. But he's got to, you've got to be alert. You've got to be turned on. It's very easy for a striker to presume the keeper's going to get to it. Look at Nick Pope's face. He knows he's made a right howler of it. But I'm just going to go and tweet. I'm just going to say, God bless the Pope. There we go. Fantastic stuff. Celtic 2, Newcastle 0. Coming up for half time. Things are looking good. And yet another English scalping pre-season for Brendan Rodgers to take. Well, we're on track to it anyway. 2-0. I don't want to speak too soon. Still a full second half to play with a lot of changes to happen. But, you know, last season, Manchester City put to the sword. Chelsea put to the sword. And it's half time at Celtic Park. And currently, Celtic putting Newcastle to the sword. And I've got a Newcastle supporting friend. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Brilliant. Brilliant. I am a big fan of what I'm seeing in that first half. It's half time. It's Celtic 2, Newcastle 0. Arne Engels puts Celtic in the lead with a penalty kick just before the half-hour mark. And then on the brink of half-time, Kasper Schmeichel sent a ball long up the park. Nick Pope rushed out to try and clear it. It was very poor because he missed the ball completely, which meant Johnny Kenny could come in slot the ball home to give us a 2-0 lead going into half time. And I love this, that we keep proving these English teams dafties. 2-0 up. Great first half performance from Celtic. If I was to run through the team very quickly, Schmeichel, brilliant. Tony Ralston, been fine. Dane Murray, the quieter of the centre-half partnership, has been fine. Austin Trusty with a fantastic performance in the first half. Arguably my player of the half so far. A player of the game so far. Inamura, brilliant over on the left-hand side. Engels, McGregor, McCowan, all playing fantastic in the midfield as a free. Dyson Maeda, arguably the poorest player in the park for Celtic, which says everything. We have been brilliant. Kenny's looked sharp. Probably should have had another goal. Celtic should be 4 or 5 up, man. And I'm not even joking when I say that. Celtic should be 4 or 5 up. And, I'm brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm chuffed. I'm absolutely chuffed. Just, you know, a great fun watch. Oh, just love it. Absolutely love it. Get any point. I'm going to go and replenish my drinks in a moment. That Pepsi's warm. I'm going to go and get a couple of a bottle of water or such in a moment. So I'll be going away in a minute or two. I will obviously be right back for the second half. But get your points going. Well, this helps. Go up to lift the Adidas Cup. We'll be there. Well, we won't be. We'll be watching it in a rhyme on Monday at Watchalong. First half, very impressed. Very, very impressed. Trusty playing on the left-hand side of the defensive partnership, Ryan, yes. Dane Murray, natural right footer. Austin Trusty, natural left footer. Yeah, I'm very happy. Inamura looking like a good bit of business. Absolutely. Man, what a first half. What a first half from Celtic. Newcastle in their first pre-season match. Listen, I don't get carried away with friendlies on this channel. Whether it's win or loss. Listen, Wolsey, you should have seen the Celtic fans in here on Saturday when we got beat off some relegation fodder Portuguese side. I had to calm everybody down, man. And then bang, we go on to beat Sporting Lisbon. We're doing well against Newcastle. We're on track for starting our season in pretty good stead. Pretty happy about all of it so far. Is there vodka in that Pepsi? Perhaps. You think I'm steaming or something? Is that the impression I'm giving off? Ryan, what would be your dream Euro away trip this year? Newcastle. Oh, brilliant. Right, lads, I will be back in a few moments' time. I'm going to go and fill up on some liquids. I'm going to go and take a piss as well. As one liquid leaves, another will enter. And we'll be here for a full commentary of the second half. However, Celtic 2 goals to the good after a very impressive first half performance on a return to Celtic Park this pre-season. I'm looking forward to the second half. I'll be back in a moment. See you very soon. No, I was going to get us going with another classic TV theme. But to be honest, my singing voice isn't quite there. So, aye. Try to think. There's a one we could get going very quickly. Let me think. Old school theme. Nah, I went for Coronation Street the other night, Sligo boy. I need something else. I can't think. God knows. It's not even a TV show, it's a film. Anyway, enough of that. Hello, I'm back. We are just waiting on the second half to kick off. You're all delighted that there's no Coronation Street theme with the sounds yet. Give us some Rebel songs. I better not for the sake of public image. I say that as if it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't even know how to word it. It's not as if my public image would be harmed by a few fucking Rebel songs, but don't know, employability? Is that maybe what I'm looking for? I don't know. Thank you, Jackie, for upgrading to the Thunder Club, by the way. Welcome yourselves into the upper echelon of Ryan 118 memberships. I appreciate that, Jackie. Thank you. A loyal 118 Club member now, part of the Thunder Club. I love that. No jump scares. Yes, says Mackenzie. Yep, don't worry. Kaysen saying I got my Pepsi and snack on standby and ready to take on the second half. It's just, I didn't opt for more Pepsi. I thought one can will do me for the now. So I went for the healthy option. I've went for the agua. You know, the aqua. Pink Panther, and I love a bit of the Pink Panther. I would like a hamburger. Sing Nickelback, burn it to the ground. I need to go and smoke 10 Marlboro Golds first and get the raspiness in my voice, Aaron, so don't worry. Of course, it's 2-0 Celtic as we wait for this second half to kick off. Thank you for joining me so far. We had a point, I seen, my live counter isn't working properly, but I seen at a point we had over 1,300 live viewers. So I appreciate that. Hopefully we can hit those sorts of numbers in the second half, because Celtic have been brilliant, utterly brilliant, it must be said. And I appreciate all your company. Please make sure to go down below, hit like, hit subscribe. The teams are now making their way back to the pitch for the second half of the game, where Newcastle are making wholesale changes by the looks of it. I see Sandro Tonali standing up and ready to come on. I see Anthony Gordon. I love Anthony Gordon. I think he's a cracking player. I see Anthony Gordon coming on. Anthony Alanga, who's new to Newcastle, of course, coming on. So some big players coming on for Newcastle in the second half. But they can't do it. They can't beat this Celtic. So, yeah, hopefully we play as well as we did in the first in this second half. And, of course, I'll be right here for it. Martin Dubravka finally playing at Celtic Park after 2 years of links. But in a Newcastle shirt, thank God. See if he starts making save after saving this game. I'll take back everything I said about him, but I'm so glad he's not a Celtic player. Sitting in quick fit and missing the game. How was Kenny's goal? Hilarious, Aidan. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you about it until you can watch it. Hilarious, you know. Do a 24-hour fast? Absolutely not. Woke nonsense. I've not watched any friendlies. Is there any significant tactical change, says Cammy? Do you know what? I mean, significance maybe a stretch, but I think we can all see that the midfield has been looking different and operating differently. Especially when, for example, when Nygren was on the park on Wednesday. I think there is some kind of slight changes in how it's been set up. But I mean, in terms of the opposition we've been playing big teams the last couple of games, Sporting and Newcastle. So you're obviously, oh sugar, I forgot to start my timer. Second half's underway. Oh, I'm a dick. No, why is it not letting me? Why is it not letting me? No. Hurry up. Ignore my clicking. Right, hold on. It's got to start in 3, 2, 1. Right, there we go. My timer is now underway for the second half. And of course, I've told you this before, I'm no paying for the pro membership that makes it start from the 45th minute and go through to the 90th. You're watching a timer go from 0 to 45 and you'll bloody like it. Right? Tough titty if you don't know what half we're in. You should know it kicked off at 3. Use your head. So Celtic, by the looks of it, haven't made any changes at the start of the second half. It's the same team. Schmeichel's still on. Yep, same team for Celtic starting the second half as what finished the first. So we are just waiting to see what minute Brendan will make changes. I imagine they'll come in maybe 10 or so minutes time, and we'll maybe get Kieran Tierney on the park, Benji Nigren and some others. But it's good to get significant minutes in the legs of all the squad. I mean, especially those who might... Let's just take somebody like Johnny Kenny, for example. The more he plays in this game, the better, because when it comes to St Mirren, we're probably not going to see an awful lot of Kenny. And I don't mean that in like a negative way. I would like to see more of Kenny, but I just think that realistically speaking, we're not going to see too much of him when the competitive football starts. So it's good to get minutes in his legs now, truly test him and see what we're dealing with and what we're looking at fitness-wise as well. So there we go. 2-0 up to start the second half. A minute in at Newcastle have given the ball away quite cheaply in the middle of the park. Trusty plays a great pass to Johnny Kenny. Johnny Kenny looks up and go... Less said about Johnny Kenny's shot there, the better. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. But a great wee ball played into him. And there it's ball's in with the Newcastle supporters. But aye. Thanks for the follow back on Letterboxd, Mr. Ryan. We'll need to return the favour and become a member. Oh, well, Brody, if you'd like to become a member, then feel free. But thank you. Listen, I told you, I said this. Oh, wait, hold on. Chance for Newcastle. Ball in the box, mate. But brilliant save, Kasper Schmeichel. Really should have been a goal. Cleared by Callum McGregor. Really should have been 2-1. Newcastle missing a bit of a sitter. It was the big man Osula up front. But it's a good save from Kasper Schmeichel in all fairness. It keeps the game at 2-0. Celtic still sitting with the clean sheet as things stand. And brilliantly played out from Arne Engels there, by the way. As Callum McGregor now gives the ball away quite poorly. But as I was saying, yeah, if you are a Letterboxd user and you don't follow me, feel free to follow me at Ryan Stephen F. I love getting as many followers as I can on there and following other people because I like to see people's opinions on films. And as a man who has now watched 173 films so far this year, I watch a lot of films, so I enjoy seeing what people are saying and what films people are recommending and stuff like that. You can follow me over there and see my opinions as well. Watched a good film last night, an underrated film, a new one called Green and Gold. That was really, really nice last night, and I would recommend it. I enjoyed it. Second half, obviously underway. Biggest chance so far coming for Newcastle. Alanga versus Inamura. I don't think that will go well. Hey, Mackenzie, have faith in Hayato. He's been good so far. Here we are. Here's a taste of it right now as Alanga starts to charge at Hayato Inamura. He just backs off a little bit. And Trusty, again, he's my man of the match so far. Honestly, we'll come to the Ryan 118 man of the match at the end of the game. But big Trusty. And he's still going. And Nick Walsh is giving a foul. What on earth? And look at Trusty's fuming, and no wonder he's fuming. How is that a foul? Now, I know the first one, fine. The one in the first half, it was a great sliding challenge. I was like, fair enough, okay. But how is that a foul? Big Trusty's having their guts for garters, and Nick Walsh can't stand it. A Newcastle free kick from quite a deep part of the field as they try and take the ball forward. Obviously, a full new team out on the park. Anthony Gordon needs a haircut. Big fan of Anthony Gordon, but he needs that hair chopped. 100%. What everybody's slagging Nick Walsh in the chat now. I love that. Have I seen The Iron Claw? I have indeed, John. Loved it. Was my second favourite film of 2024, behind Conclave. Loved Iron Claw. Fantastic movie. Here's a chance. Alanga cleared by or dealt well with by McGregor. Oh, that's a foul. Surely Maida just a wee kind of pirouette round Anthony Gordon, and Gordon takes him out, but it's a foul. So are you finished? Are you 5 minutes behind again, Ryan? I will be, mate. My perfectly legal Celtic TV seems to be 5 minutes behind for some reason, and I don't know why. Anthony Gordon gives the ball off, shot from Miley, blocked by Trusty, another shot blocked by Trusty again. The big man's having the game of his life. Watch this, against St Mirren, he'll drop a generational stinker. Gordon looks like he's in recovery. Jeez, oh, poor guy. God forbid a man have flair. Two big blocks from Austin Trusty there. Two shots in target from Newcastle that could have both been credible chances of a goal. But the big yank, the lanky yank, the Philadelphia boy, ultimately, my man, in front of both opportunities, which is what matters most. Lewis Miley now sends a ball out to the right-hand side of Newcastle's attack, but Celtic once again setting up shape to make life difficult for Newcastle, and I'll take that happily. Chance now for Newcastle, cut out by Inamura. My bad on me. Inamura does really, really well. Tenali trying to contest with Luke McCowan. And that'll go all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, and we'll start from there. Yeah, Phil McCracken. I get him in. Phil McCracken, a great player. Kasper Schmeichel sends the ball upfield, watching it. He's watching. He punted that ball upfield there and was watching it as if he was driving on a golf course. So watching it come down, just I guess he's been watching the Open all weekend. Any golf fans in the chat? I'm not a big golf fan, to be fair. I'm not a huge golf fan, but nonetheless, I don't mind golf. It's just I'm not going to pretend I'm a fan. Luke McCowan. Ball sent forward. Dyson Maeda. I heard Stevie down the stairs shouting. Dyson Maeda slips one across for Yang, and it's Celtic 3, Newcastle 0. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Oh, it feels utterly fantastic. The Adidas Cup is coming home. No, I'm joking. Let's not get carried away here. But 3-0 Celtic. What a performance. It's another goal, an assist from Dyson Maeda, who's certainly looked more like himself so far in this second half, for Yang to finish coolly, beautifully, calmly as you like. And it's a brilliant one. Once again, Celtic, do you know what I've noticed between this and the Sporting game? How effective we've looked at counter-attacking. And that's, something that we've had to do more in Europe, where we need to improve on our counter-attacking finesse, our counter-attacking efficiency. And between this and the Sporting game, I've been very, very impressed by it. Yang finishes off Celtic's attack there, 53 minutes into the game almost, and it's Celtic 3, Newcastle 0. A statement scoreline would be nice. Listen, it's a friendly, it doesn't matter at the end of the day and all the rest of it, but to beat one of the top English sides by 4 or 5 goals, that'd be pretty nice. That would be pretty nice. No changes as of yet, Nathan. Still the same team that finished the first half. Newcastle going straight from kickoff. They need a goal. They're looking for a goal. Ball chipped over and dealt with really well by Anthony Ralston, just to evade any threat of a late chance for Newcastle deep into the Celtic box. It looked as though the back post could have been a looming threat, but Anthony Ralston cleared it before it could become one. Newcastle, you can tell now, are a little bit pissed. They're like, you know what, we need a goal. We need a goal. We need one, and we need it now. And they're still going for it again via Alanga with the cross in for Osula, which is dealt with by Dane Murray. And it goes out for a Celtic goal kick, actually. So Murray comes in and applies the pressure to big Osula, the Newcastle forward. I don't even know if it's Osula. It's still on. I'm living off assumptions here. It is. He comes in and puts the pressure on him, and it ends up winning Celtic a goal kick. Brilliant. Fantastic. Anthony Gordon looking like the Karate Kid. How strong is their side today? They had a decent side out in the first half. A lot of the regulars, but I wouldn't say it was like full strength Newcastle. They had, Trippier, Shah, Botman, Target, Miley, Bruno Guimaraes, Willock, Osula, Barnes, and I nearly got the full 11 here. I'm one player off. Who was on the right wing for them? Jacob Murphy. That was the team they were playing in the first half. So a few of the regulars, A few of the regulars. Second half, they've made wholesale changes, but the likes of Tonali on the park now, Alanga, Anthony Gordon, strong front three, I suppose. At the end of the day. Oh, here we go. Kieran Tierney returning. This is a big moment. Hayato Inamura coming off the park for Celtic, and for the first time since 2019, ladies and gentlemen, Kieran Tierney is home. Kieran Tierney is back at Celtic Park. In the green and white hoops, the chosen one returns. What a moment. 6 years. Blessing himself as he makes his way onto the pitch and everything. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. Kieran Tierney. Man, brilliant. Even though I've watched him play already twice. He's back on the pitch at Celtic Park. What a moment. Did we think we'd see this in the year of our Lord 2025? Did we think we'd see Kieran Tierney back in a Celtic shirt so soon? No. Absolutely not. But yet, here we are. Kieran Tierney home again. Wow. And there he is on the ball already. An early introduction to the game. Plays a lovely pass for Dyson Maeda. just those wee split differences in quality make you see why you've got a player like Kieran Tierney, how important he is to the system and to the setup. Just glossing over the fact that he lost the ball there, but doesn't really matter. Understated just how good a backup for Inamura Tierney will be. Exactly. Exactly, Aaron. Commentators talking over the standing ovation for Tierney. Scandalous. Get me in that fucking gantry. I'll show him how it's done. Tears in my eyes there, Ryan, says Jim. Listen, what a moment. It feels surreal seeing him back. And like, I don't know how many clubs up and down the country get to feel that sort of connection with their players and their I know that through the years, you know, Manchester United being one of the prime examples of players who've come through as United supporters and coming through the academy and making it at the club, and teams like Arsenal have had it a lot, and it's existed in Newcastle, of course, with guys like Alan Shearer, who was a Newcastle supporter born and bred and whatnot, but it's something special about Celtic, and it's something special about Kieran Tierney. And I remember a couple of years ago when Sergio Ramos went back to Sevilla, there was such an emotional aspect to it because it was, you know, that was his team and all the rest of it. But I don't think that there's many clubs in this country, in the UK, that feel the way that Celtic fans feel about Kieran Tierney and vice versa. Like, it cannot be understated how special a moment it is for him to return to Celtic Park. And with Brendan Rodgers as his manager, it's just, brilliant. And listen, we'll see how it goes as the year goes on. Thank you to Jai C for donating, a member of the club as well. $1.99 saying 10k travel to watch him get pumped. Go to love it. Get it up them. See, to be fair, what a cracking day out it'll be for. Well, actually, it's been a bit spoiled by the weather, to be fair. If they came up yesterday, it would have been a lovely day for them, because the weather up in Glasgow was brilliant. It was a magic day yesterday. Trust, what is this the referee and the linesman got against Austin Trusty, by the way? You know? Don't get that. We've been brilliant. Nearly approaching the hour mark in the game now. We're just about a minute and a half short of that hour mark. And we're doing pretty well, aren't we? 3-0 up. Oh, Tony Ralston's just killed Tony Gordon. Oh, I love that. Tony, look at the smirk on Ralston's face. Is it like is Gordon said something to Ralston or something? He's been waiting in that. My God. I see I've got best Celtic football /football channel and Celtic, the king of Celtic once again. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it. I try my best to do as best a job as I can talking about our club, you know, and I appreciate things like that. So thank you, Tony on Tony violence. I know. Exactly, and I'm sorry. As I said, I made it clear. I'm a big fan of Anthony Gordon. I think he's a great player. I've been a fan of him since he was at Everton. But yeah, if I've had to pick one in a fight, my money's on Ralston every single time. May I make that clear? We are now just about to hit the hour mark in the game, so half an hour play. Still waiting for Celtic to make more changes. The only change so far in the game was Hayato Inamura coming off for Kieran Tierney. And assume that in the next few minutes we'll see Celtic maybe change the remaining outfield players. But right now we're playing well. There's a team gelling together quite nicely. I mean, we're in utter... there we go. The tops are getting changed. We are about to see changes. I can see Forrest, Scales, Doohan. Sorry, Sirisalo, not Doohan. About to come on the park. So the subs are ready to be made any moment now. Probably wait for the next break in play as Newcastle desperately try and find something in the game to take some sort of pride from Glasgow this afternoon. Yang trying to keep the ball in the middle of the park, but three men swarming towards him, making it difficult, and Newcastle lose it once more to Callum McGregor. It's a bit of a bobbly game at the minute. Tierney comes in, great pass from Tierney for Johnny Kenny, just can't get past his defender. Oh, and Yang came in trying to win it, an outstretched tackle. He has won it though. Yang sends the ball over and it'll go out for a throw-in. We have played well. Still waiting for Benjamin Nygren to come on, as Bill Scotland has pointed out. Exactly. Still waiting for Tierney for Nygren to make his way onto the park. These watch-alongs are great, Ryan. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Here we go. Changes are being made. I will try and tell you who's all coming on the park, but it's about 10 subs, so please bear with me. Benjamin Nygren is coming on. Vinny Sinsalo is coming on. Waiting for the camera now to pan back over. Liam Scales coming on. Marco Tilio coming on. Paulo Bernardo coming on for his first appearance of pre-season. So it's good to see him back. I've missed seeing Paulo Bernardo, a great player. Big fan of him. James Forrest, who will assume the responsibilities of captain. Adam Ida, Rio Hitate. Trying to see who I've missed coming onto the field, but I have made my way through the majority. We are making wholesale changes though. And listen, for the 61 minutes that we got to see of that Celtic team who played, magic. Absolutely brilliant. It was nice of Brendan Rodgers to give Kieran Tierney that moment as well. To let him back onto the standing ovation of the Celtic support. Big half an hour now for the likes of Adam Ida. If the chances fall, he needs to score, especially after that stinker of a performance in the Estadio Algarve on Wednesday night. But wholesale changes made. I think that McPherson and Donovan have made their way onto the park as well. I will try and run through it. Sinsalo in goals. Donovan, McPherson, Scales and Tierney make up the back line. Paulo Bernardo, Benjamin Nigren and Rio Hitate make up the midfield three. And the front three is Jamesy Forrest, Adam Ida, and who is it on the right? And Marco Tilio. There you go. That is the team for the second half of the game. So there you go. I've ran through it, and I'm hoping that is... Benjamin Nigren's hairline is... Poor boy. I can't say anything. I would pull my hair back and show you mine, but this isn't a stream to start slagging me, is it? You know, this is a watch-along where we're all friendly with each other. James Forrest now with the ball on the left-hand side. Marco Tilio on the right. Forrest on the left. Tries to send the ball to Adam Ida, but it's defended and cleared from Newcastle. Adam Ida, though, not giving up on winning that ball. And he's laid one on Emil Kraft over on that right-hand side. Emil Kraft is so bad. So bad. And Adam Ida just came in and gave up. Look as though he punched him in the balls there, you know. Like so he's giving him a wee botwang. You know, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. Where's Kuhn? Probably enjoying a Aperol Spritz on the shores of Lake Como. I would assume, not to be the bearer of bad news. But aye, looking forward to seeing Kieran Tierney crunch Taverner. Well, I hope that meeting goes well for Celtic. I'm not going to put any bad juju in the air. Brilliant from wee Marco Tilio. Oh, fucking hell. Believe the Celtic fans are now chanting towards Newcastle, "Are you Rangers in disguise?" An absolute whitewash of a performance. And Newcastle now throwing their toys at the pram. Fouling wee Marco Tilio. Look at Tilio. Tiny. And they're going through him like that. It's a shame that. It's abuse, actually, to be quite honest. Donovan plays the pass back to McPherson. McPherson and Donovan have had a lot of time this pre-season, haven't they? We've seen them every game, essentially. So good for them. Long ball for Adam Ida to try and retrieve, but just a bit too much on it for the big man. And it goes out for a Newcastle corner. 25 minutes left in the game, which means we'll be live for around half an hour or so. So please, if you've got any points, get your questions in. I would absolutely love to dance through any talking points, Celtic related, Newcastle related, anything related, as we have some fun in the last 25 or so minutes of this game. Celtic well on track to 3 points and the Adidas Cup this afternoon. Benji Nigren plays a good pass for Adam Ida, who gets the shot away and it just goes wide. Pretty good chance there for Celtic. Great wee pass in from Benjamin Nigren. Defended well by Jamal Lascelles, though, just to put him off. A good chance. Good chance. He turns, gets it onto his right foot, and Lascelles just comes in the nick of time to put Adam Ida off his shot. Good chance. Good chance for Celtic. Missed number one from Ida. Come on, we're not hate watching him. It's a good chance there. Well worked. It was good to get the shot away. Doesn't matter if Newcastle second team, they'll have 20 million plus players that we can't afford. That, and it's true, Stephen. But I think it is their first pre-season, or one of their first pre-season friendlies. It's a friendly at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Fun fact about Colby Donovan, he's completely both-footed, so he's useful as a fullback because he can play either side completely the same. Fun fact from Nathan. Everybody thank Nathan for his fun fact. We appreciate that. Aside from Neil Lennon, I was about to say Neil Lennon. Neil Lennon flies an aeroplane, Neil Lennon. Aside from Lennon Miller, would you take anyone? You'd think that there's fucking vodka in this, wouldn't you? I'm just chirpy. It's a Saturday. I'm going out for a couple of pints tonight. Why would I not have a smile on my face? Aside from Miller, there's not many. I wasn't adverse to the idea of. I wasn't against the idea of maybe James Penrice. But I wouldn't have launched a bid at him, you know. Yeah, Lennon Miller's the only real standout for me at this moment in time. Corner for Newcastle as we approach the 67th minute of the game. It's swung in by Sandro Tonali and met by Jamal Lascelles, but Vinny Sinsalo will claim with relative ease as it floats into the grip of his big hands. And the ball out from Vinny Sinsalo goes right back to Martin Dubravka. That does mean that he's multi-footed. Exactly. I love a good multi-footed player. You know me. And Aaron also says, fun fact about Colby Donovan, he's a Celtic B team player, so we'll never break through into the first team. Yep, spot on. Dan's giving us our credit. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it, mate. Chiesa is a replacement for Kuhn. I think there's a small matter of wages. Rio Hitati. Oh, hey, Phil! Is he giving it? Adam Ida was so unlucky there because he done so. That was really clever from Ida. That's got to be a red card. Get Dan Burn off. Red. Give him a red. Ida done brilliantly as well. What a pass. Hitati plays the pass. That's a red card. That's a red. I know it's a friendly, right? We don't need to take it seriously. But he should be off. Ida, what a touch from the big man as well. Granted, maybe Dan Burn's done him a favour because he might have finished it off brutally. But Dan Burn is lucky to be on the park. Very lucky to be on the park. He's just taking Adam Ida out on a goal scoring opportunity. And I'd imagine because it is a friendly that maybe Nick Walsh has just maybe held back a wee bit and went, you know, let's just, you know, we'll rein it in. But football's football. Rules are rules for a reason. Anyway, free kick Celtic. Paulo Bernardo and Benjamin Nygren stand over it. And I'm telling you right now, if we could score it, I'd be delighted. Nygren, fucking hell. There we go. We need another free kick taker. We need another one. Anybody getting an abundance of texts from random numbers? I've just got a text there from an unknown number saying, "Pounds, add my WhatsApp and receive the £8 bonus immediately." Right, no offence. Number one, I'm not going to fall for your scam. But number two, if you're going to advertise a scam, at least advertise more than £8. You know, fucking hell. 20 minutes left. Celtic in domination mode this second half. We have been really the only team in the second half, it feels like. I mean, Newcastle went forward a couple of times, but I feel like it's been all Celtic, to be quite honest. Ida pressing on Dubravka. Telio does really well, but will go out for a goal kick. Newcastle would have scored that. Get Newcastle back. Can we get Nakamura back? I wish. Hello, Jordan. Nice to see you, Jordan Lamb. Massive Sunderland fan here. You have me laughing my head off. Loving the score as well. Thank you. Funnily enough, Jordan, I would go down and get it for you, just for your sake. And I should have done this. Do you know what this is? People aren't going to believe this when I say this. I have 2 Sunderland scarves down the stairs. Not that I'm a Sunderland supporter or anything, but I've actually been to 2 games at the Stadium of Light. When I was in school, we often done, and I'm sure some of your schools would have maybe been the same, but every year there would always be a football trip. And the first one we done, I went to because it was Man United. As you all know, I've got a bit of a liking for Manchester United. But Sunderland played Manchester United in the David Moyes season. It was actually the game that Adnan Januzaj scored 2 goals and basically announced himself as the next big thing. And so I was down there sitting in the Sunderland end. I got a Sunderland scarf for that. And no, I got a half and half actually. I got a Sunderland versus Manchester United scarf because I was like, well, you know, at least it's half and half. And then I went back the following year for Sunderland against Arsenal, and Vito Mignoni dropped an absolute stinker for Sunderland that afternoon, and I got just a normal Sunderland scarf at that game. So I've got 2 Sunderland scarves down the stair, Jordan. I hope you appreciate that, brother. And I hope we're cheering you up this afternoon. Good luck in your voyage in the Premier League next year. The biggest club in the North East. By a country mile, may I add. I'm sorry to any Newcastle fans that are watching, but I will die on that hill. Sunderland are a much bigger club. Much bigger club. And I'll die on that hill. Die on it. God, there we go. Got to get the dislike button smashed now, aren't I? Defo vodka you're drinking, charge on. It's definitely not. But, you know, I'm having a fun afternoon. About 20 minutes left to go in the game. As Celtic up 3-0. Maybe this friendly was worth the money. Aye, maybe it would have been £25 well spent, you know. We got one football trip and it was wank, City against Newcastle. I'm sorry to hear that. We had a few to the Etihad that I never went to. I had a moral stance about going on those ones. Kieran Auld went to Wigan, of all places. He went to like Wigan versus Everton at the, what was it called at the time? The DW. We had one at Old Trafford, which I didn't get picked for, and I was raging after like begging my PE teacher to pick me. And he promised he'd pick me since I liked United. And it was a Champions League game against Bayern last 2013. And I didn't get picked for it. We had some good ones, man. Our school, we done quite well. Your school used to always go to Everton, says Bill Scott, and I'd have loved that. I went to Goodison once, and I bloody loved it. One of the best stadiums I've ever been to, and it's a shame that that's it, like, done for the men's team anyway. What about Middlesbrough? Well, you know, could argue that Newcastle's the 3rd biggest team in the North East. Actually, Hartlepool's up there as well, aren't they? Our 4th biggest then. Should I put my Sunderland scarf on for this? I would go down and get it, but I'm not climbing down the ladders to climb back up with it. And no universe are Sunderland bigger than Newcastle. Yes, they are. How many Premier League titles, or how many top division titles have Newcastle won? How many have Sunderland won? Aye, thought so. Hey, I'm just at the wind up, boys. Do you think I care? I mean, I'm a header and it goes over the bar. Do you think I care? God almighty, I'm not want to start a war about the North East, fuck's sake. The only thing that matters about the North East is Paul Gascoigne turning up at the scene of Raoul Moat, claiming that he was good mates with him. How much for winning the Adidas Cup? Hopefully millions. 22 hour round trip for a fucking football trip with the school. Jesus. South Shields, F Shields. What about what's the other one again? What are they called? South Shields. What are they called? Begins with a G. Oh, here we go. Rio Hitati goes from range, save from Dubravka. What's the one that begins with a G? With the big statue on it, the big Angel of the North or whatever it's called. I was about to say Grangemouth, but it's definitely not Grangemouth. I forgot their name all of a sudden, and it's gonna annoy me. Corner kick for Celtic after Rio Hitati's shot from range was patted away. Gateshead, that's the one. And it's a corner kick from Celtic. Benjamin Nygren stands over the corner kick, sends a ball in, goes deep to Adam. Oh, either touch comes right off his knee or something. And we go back at the well for more. Hitati gives it over. Tierney with a ball in for Skills. Celtic 4, Newcastle 0. That's a scoreline right there, boys. That's a scoreline. Celtic 4, Newcastle 0. Great. Fantastic. 4 goals to the good. And Kieran Tierney with the assist. His first assist back as a Celtic player. Something beautiful. And Liam Scales scoring as well. Great header. No keeper in the world is saving that. Great ball from Tierney though. Scales meets it beautifully. 75 minutes on the clock. Only 15 to play. And Celtic are beating Newcastle 4-0. Pre-season friendly or not, I'm very happy with that scoreline. I'm very, very happy with the performance of Celtic this afternoon. It must be said. How dare you, Crypto Jack, accuse me of using IPTV? How dare you? I am using perfectly legal Celtic TV memberships here. I'll have you know. Thanks very much. Nathan Green saying Scales sat in my chair at that AFT. What's his name again? Oh, what is the name of the guy there? Is it Lee or something? When Kane scores for England. He's done it again. 4-0 up. What time's the pub at, lads? What time are we off to the pub? What we kidding on watching the last 15 minutes for? Gateshead. I should have known that because I done an FM with Gateshead years ago. Like FM 17 or something like that. Non-league to glory. And if I get left on for Portsmouth. Got to like League One and I was like, right, I've had enough. Moved to Portsmouth in the Championship. So yeah, great afternoon for Celtic. Liam Scales adds himself to the score list, which of course includes Arne Engels, Johnny Kenny, and my mind has hit a blank. Yang for the goal scorers this afternoon. And a great wee afternoon out for Celtic supporters who probably, I'm very lucky. I'm blessed that I have a season ticket and I probably will do for the rest of my life because I'm never giving it up. But there's a lot of Celtic fans at the game today who will be, and a lot, especially younger support, who don't get to go to the games all that often because of constant sellouts and because of constant season ticket waiting list letdowns, who are probably having the afternoon of their life, and that's what it's all about. That's what today's all about. Putting a smile on the face of the supporters who are there, especially those who might be their only game they get to this summer or this season, I should say. So yeah, brilliant afternoon for Celtic. 4-0 up, still 13 minutes to play, but a lot to be very positive about. And once again, I hate to be that guy. But it just puts into perspective how stupid it was when I was sat here doing my live stream this time last week, and some people were talking about how embarrassing it was that we lost to some Portuguese team and that they were losing the rag and that the season was over. How do you feel now? Do you feel foolish? Because you should. We have over 1,800 live viewers, which is the biggest amount of viewers we have had so far in this pre-season. We have also crossed the 50,900 subscriber mark. 100 away. I'll tell you exactly how many away we are from 51k. Newcastle have a corner kick. I'll get back to the chat in a moment. I cannot backflip like Speed. Don't be so ridiculous. Alanga stands over the corner for Newcastle, sends it in. It goes to the edge of the box when Anthony Gordon's waiting. He sees it round. Paulo Bernardo, Kieran Tierney comes sliding in to put him off, and it goes out. And it doesn't go out. It goes to Vinny Sinsalo, which is fantastic. We are less than 70 subscribers away. We have had some. Thank you to everybody who's pressed subscribe on this stream, by the way, because we had less than 50,900. We now are only 70 away from 51k. So thank you to everybody who's pressed that button during this live stream. We have been flying through the subscribers today. Thank you to everybody who's donated. Thank you to everybody who's pressed that like button. And I appreciate it. Telly turned down. This is much better crack, says Cooks. Well, I try my best. I absolutely try my best. Down 11 minutes to go of the crack. So, and I'm sure we're all desperate to get to the pubs to celebrate the Adidas Cup. So I'm buzzing. Look, listen, as I said, we're 2 trophies into completing the tea set, lads. We've won the Cork Super Cup. We've won the Adidas Cup. Only the Como Cup to go. And we are we're the biggest team in the world, aren't we? Biggest team in the world. Thank you, Rangers Reality. I try my best. 4-0 up with only 45% possession. That's pretty good. I was shocked to beat Chelsea, Man City. Now Newcastle. Who's next, says Brooklyn. Well, listen, the big test would come if we played any of these sides in the Champions League. But I've always said it, right? And this is something I've said for years. If you've watched me for the last 10 years, you know this is a Ryan118 catchphrase year upon year. I love drawing an English side in the Champions League because I feel like even if we get beat, like we did against Aston Villa in January, of course, or February, I feel like Celtic raised their game against the English sides, despite how much of an underdog we might be. And because these sides are pumped with millions, and of course in Newcastle's case, Saudi billions, you're always the underdog, but Celtic always raise their game. In my lifetime, Celtic's record against English sides in competitive football, I'm not talking friendlies here, friendlies mean bugger all, competitive games has been pretty good. I go back to thinking about Liverpool when I was a bairn. when I was a young boy, and I can't even remember it, but we played well against them UEFA Cup. Blackburn Rovers played well against them in the UEFA Cup. I then go into my first memories of conscious football against Manchester United, and we of course played very, very well. I remember then obviously going on to be very unlucky against Arsenal in European qualifiers. And then go on to play against Manchester City a few years ago in 2016, where we played really, really well. We always raise our game, and even if we come up short, even if we lose, like we did to Aston Villa this past year, or in the last 6 months, Celtic always seem to raise their game. And that's what I liked. I like drawing the English teams in European competition. And who knows, maybe this isn't the first or only time that we play Newcastle this season. You know, maybe we'll meet up against them again in the coming months in the Champions League. You never know. So we'll wait and see. Who do we have to beat in the final if we get to the final of the Como Cup? It'll either be Al Ali or... Is it Al Ali? It's one of the Saudi teams. We either need to play Al Ali or Como, one of the two. We play Ajax in the semi-final. And there is a third and fourth place game, I believe, as well. So we are guaranteed. We're guaranteed 2 more watch-alongs after this, ladies and gents. 2 more to go. Hopefully 2 more to go. I don't know if I'll be back from Manchester in time for the second one, because I'm away to see Drake on Friday. So you'll need to bear with me on that one. But I hope I'm back in time. Marco Telio wiped out by Anthony Gordon, but referee calls it a clean tackle with 8 minutes left on the clock. Send a ball long for young Neve. I've never heard of this Neve, number 62 for Newcastle. First time I've ever seen him. Anthony Alanga goes for a pop. Sinsalo pats it out. Probably would have just caught it if he didn't know he had so much time with it. And then he comes to collect the second ball. Get it right round you, Eddie Howe, says John. Absolutely. Tierney playing out of his arse here, by the way, says Kian. You know what? He's like, I think his first obviously appearance for Celtic in pre-season was last week. This time last week against Estrella de Amadora, and I said it in that game during that watch along that I thought that he looked pretty sharp, pretty fit. Was bombing up and down the left hand side, establishing that partnership with Dyson Maeda. So it's good to see that he's still kicking on in pre-season, and hopefully this whole injury-prone narrative goes away quite quickly, because he's been fit since January. He's been playing since January, and he's been fine. Obviously, we kind of knock with the Scotland setup that Steve Clark gave him a rest through, but it was hardly an injury, you know. Newcastle fan 299. We won the Carabao Cup. We will come back. I'm sure you'll be just fine, lads. I don't think that losing in a pre-season friendly to us is going to spell the end of the world for you. But yous won that. We won the Premier Sports Cup, right? That's what it's all about. I thought so. Free kick to Newcastle from quite an enticing area. Celtic's job now to try and hang on to the clean. I say hang on as if we're on the receiving end of a pounding here. Celtic's job now is to try and keep that clean sheet, to walk away 4 goals to the good, and a clean sheet would be a pretty spectacular return to Celtic Park upon the beginning of our new season, our new campaign. Sandro Tonali stands above the ball for this free kick. And it will be live for around 10 more minutes or so, ladies and gents, for the remainder of this game. So please, if you've got anything you want asked, get it in now. It's Tonali's free kick. It's terrible. It's straight into the hands of Sinisalo. And with just over 5 minutes to go, Celtic look as though they're going to keep a hold of their clean sheet. If we concede, it's Rodgers out. As Luke has said, look but bigger. Anthony Gordon now with the ball on the left-hand side, slips it in. That sounded once again suggestive. I can confirm that he slipped it in as a pass, adverse to any other thoughts of slipping it in. Did Eddie Howe forget to bring his 26-man backroom team? Enjoyed that, Pat. Enjoyed that. I wonder whether Newcastle... If I'm off to the Toon for a pint tonight, I hope I'm not like swarmed by Newcastle supporters that have caught this stream and seen me call Sunderland the biggest team in the North East. Lads, it was a joke. Well, James Forrest moving forward with the ball for Celtic. Gives it to Rio Hatate. Celtic now just keeping the ball, playing safe, kind of bringing down the intensity levels just a little bit, as they should. Poor touch there, letting down. Was that Donovan that was in the box? Couldn't tell if it was Donovan or McPherson. I think it was Donovan who'd moved into uncharted territory, maybe choking to score a goal at Celtic Park while the chance presents itself. Trust me, I know what it's like to miss your chance of scoring a goal at Celtic Park. I've been there. I should have had about 4. I dropped an Adam Ida-esque performance. Why do you think I back up Ida so much? I know how it feels. You know, I'm going to be on Newcastle Twitter, I hope so. I think that'd be a great laugh. Ball slipped through, but straight into the hands of Martin Dubravka as we approach towards the end of the game. Thank you, Andy, for your company. It's me that should be thanking you guys. Take the Sunderland scarf to the pub. I might do. Am I going to... No, I'm not going to Wonderbar. I'm not. Couldn't catch me in that place. Celtic fans starting to make their way to the exit now. It's good to beat the traffic. Not even staying for the trophy lift. Come on, boys. The Adidas Cup here. Get your arse in your seat. This is a massive occasion for the club. As I said, 2 out of 3 in pre-season. Only the Como Cup to go. You know? Bloody hell. 3 minutes left. Ball sent in from Newcastle. Dealt with by Kieran Tierney and cleared away. Rio Hatate cushions it down for Benjamin Nigren, whose clearance goes as far as Jamal Lascelles. Newcastle desperate to try and get something to take away from this game. Some form of positivity on the attacking front. Ball switched over to the other wing, but not good enough because Marco Tilio is the one that ends up with the ball as he tries to get it out. I'm excited for SummerSlam. I am indeed. I am indeed. The Rhea stuff is mad. But I'm looking forward to SummerSlam. I am indeed. Even though the product has been a little bit weird as of late and a bit dodgy, but Big Jelly though. Nathan asking, can any of Callum, Kieran or Dylan play that would have been better at Celtic Park than you? Kieran is a cracking technical player. He's got great feet. Sadly, the cigarettes and the vapes have ruined any ability he once had. I've never seen Dylan play, but he does enjoy his 5-a-sides, and I've been led to believe he has a strong right foot. And Callum Craig's a cracking defender. I'll tell you that right now. Me and Callum play 5-a-sides quite often. He's part of the regular 10 that play, and Callum is... when I try and charge through on goal, Callum's a task to get by, man. He's a good defender. But I think we all suffer from the same fitness issues. You know? I think we all suffer from that. We'll struggle to win the league. Terrible against Newcastle, says Stephen. Aye. Terrible indeed. Premier League is a farmers' league. We need to be playing better teams from bigger leagues. Aye. You're no wrong. Get us playing friendlies against Charlton and Sheffield Wednesday again. They're the real big dogs down south. That's what we need. So, as we approach the 89th minute, it's time for Ryan118 to give out his Ryan118 Man of the Match award, which is such a prestigious award, as we all know. As we have found out, the Ryan118 Man of the Match award is looked at as one of the biggest one of the biggest Man of the Match awards in all of Europe. And on that note, I am so pleased to give it to my boy, my man, my Philadelphia boy, Austin Trusty, who takes, for me, the Man of the Match award. I think that everybody's been great today. I genuinely can't believe that we're talking about... Well, he was good in the early stages of the second half. But the fact that Dyson Maeda was probably the poorest player in Celtic's pitch today, in my opinion, at least in the first half anyway, says so much about how good Celtic were this afternoon and how everybody to a man was good. But for me, I'm giving the Man of the Match award to Austin Trusty because defensively he was very, very good today. And hopefully it's the kind of performance that he can tap into for the beginning of the competitive campaign. And hopefully it gives him the confidence he needs to be Celtic's best centre-half option beside Cameron Carter-Vickers. But on that note, Liam Scales, goal scorer this afternoon. Brilliant all pre-season. Aye, we seem to be giving Brendan Rodgers a bit of a headache in pre-season. But we still need to sign someone. It's not to be naive. 2 minutes added on before full time. We've only got about a minute and a half of that yet to play, but defensively Celtic will be very, very good. Let's hope we hold on to this clean sheet as Newcastle enjoy the majority of possession in the closing stage of this match. Ball sent out wide now for Newcastle, who still really, really, really want that goal. And they might get it because a great ball in here. And that's a big save from Vinny Sinsalo. A fantastic save from Vinny Sinsalo. And it was the young lad, Neve. I think it's Neve. I think that's how you pronounce it. Who had the header on goal. It's just inexperience, isn't it? Because anybody else, you know that from a young age you're taught, if you get that kind of header from 6 yards out and you're open, put it left, put it right, put it into a corner, do something. And it's a good save from Sinisalo, but it's headed right at him. And he has to put it into a corner. Celtic will hold on to their clean sheet. We're going for one more, though. We're going for one more. James Forrest. No, sorry. Luke McCown. No, who is that? James Forrest. It must have been Forrest. Luke McCown's not on the pitch. Ida! Oh, he's went for the spectacular and he's blasted it over the bar. He's went for it on the volley after the cross from Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney looking for his second assist of the game, and that should be that for this. With seconds left on the clock, you would imagine that the full-time whistle is about to go. Celtic 4, Newcastle 0. A great return for Celtic Park. And there we go. Full time at Celtic Park. And your winners of the very huge Adidas Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, we have beaten Newcastle in our 5th pre-season friendly of the season. Celtic's best performance in pre-season yet by a country mile. The goal scoring was started by Arne Engels in a penalty kick. And Johnny Kenny then took advantage of a terrible Nick Pope mistake to make it 2-0 right before half-time. We came out all guns blazing in the second half, and Yang finished off a great cross from Dyson Maeda to make it 3-0. And then with 15 minutes left to go in the game, Liam Scales on the end of a Kieran Tierney cross, a sign of things to come, a foreshadowing of everything we will see down that left-hand side at Celtic this season. A great headed goal to make it Celtic 4, Newcastle 0. A clean sheet, a brilliant performance, and a statement win in pre-season for Celtic. It's only pre-season, but it's a brilliant result followed by an even better performance as Celtic go home winners. I say go home winners. We are at home and we wait for the trophy. Brilliant. There we go. There's my stream away. There's my Celtic TV being cut off. Lads, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting by with you all afternoon. I don't know what we ended up getting to views-wise. I don't know what we're on exactly at this moment. I'll answer a couple of questions before we go away, of course, about the game, about anything else, as I normally would do. We have over 1,600 live viewers, which is nuts. Thank you all so much. What a game. What a fun time. I enjoyed it. I can't believe I've only got 2 more of these, maybe even only 1, depending on what happens next Saturday. Aye, Ken, you missed a showing, son. You missed a showing. You missed Celtic giving Newcastle the sausage, is what you missed. Everybody looked good this afternoon. Donovan, as Ronan's pointed out, being one of those players. Donovan, the next KT, says Megan. It's a big statement, that, to be honest. But I'm impressed with Dane Murray. We were superb. A deserved win, says Phil. Hope we get free sambas as the medals, says Kian. Well, that would be a prize. Right, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap it up there because I'm starving. And I want to get a pint. So I'm going to go and get my dinner. I'm going to have some quesadillas in celebration of the Adidas Cup. Some Costco quesadillas. Thank you for tuning in. I've really, really enjoyed this. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your Saturday night. And, yeah, I'll see you for the next watch along on Thursday as Celtic